computer. Okay, Carl. Let's have this in line. So first, you need the human figure. Okay, this is the human. So how do you get it? By going to, okay, delete muna natin to first. And you go to Windows, then component, then sa component, you will see meron dito mga laman. No? So, two girls named Anchor. Hanapin natin si Nancy. Si Nancy, siya yung aking very help component. Para malaman natin kung tama ba yung measurement natin. I-hide ko na ito. Para hindi na. Okay. Next is, we need to, pwede mo i-X. Tapos, when you are in the command, kasi the command are this one. Ito is line. So, when you want to get out of the command, you just press space bar. So, space bars is in the keyboard. Okay, space bars is this big, ano ba to? Keyboard button. So, letter L, or we can use the pencil. So, do I have a pencil here? Here is the letter L, which is shortcut is shortcut is L, and then it is the draw the edges from point to point. It's the line. So the point is this one, the origin. So if you will see the origin from the XY axis, so it's like a cross. You have a cross there. Crosshair. We call it crosshair in AutoCAD. So that is our guide. Remember that the cross also signifies that if we have Jesus, okay, in our heart, and we will accomplish everything we do. So in this one, for me, it reminds me that everything starts from the origin. And the origin is what? Our creator, di ba? So we have a basis of everything that we're doing. So what we're going to do is go to the origin first and start start your first action by measuring the distance. So our project today is to do a bedroom, a small house, tiny house, for about just like a studio type. When you say studio type, it's a room that doesn't have a lot of partition, but there inside the studio type is what you all need to be a livable space. What do you mean by livable space, Bea? Eli, what do you mean by livable space? Am I talking? How about you, Carl? Livable space is that it is a space that you can live, di ba? You can. In a livable space, there is CR, what else? There's living room, but there's no partition. There's the bedroom, the living room, or you can do, like in a hotel, it's a livable space. You have a CR, you have, yeah, it's a home, but smaller. Studio type doesn't have what? Partition. Tama? The tiny house, it has partition. The only partition in the studio type is, syempre you need privacy, di ba? What's that? CR, the comfort room. Okay? So let's start by assigning our livable space for about 6 meters. So when you say 6 meters, let's check if this is in metric system. So when you put in there that 6, okay, it says there meters. So when you put 6, and then you press enter, where is it? There you go. It's correct. Kasi ang 6 meters is bigger than a human height, di ba? Okay, so 6 meters by, let's make, so how can I know if this is a square? You can go to the view here. So top or move the camera to the top view of the model. So it becomes a top, okay? So you see, where's my, since ni Nancy's? There, no? Kasi 2D lang siya, just like flat lang. Pero, you notice, it's not like a flat in a paper. So we need it to be a 2D. You go to the camera, and then parallel projection, and then it becomes what? 2D. It's not 3D anymore. So, the 6 meters is from the origin going there. And then when you push it like that, it's the same as the what? The axis of the green axis. So, it means it's correct. If you make it like that, it will not be perfect square. Tama ba? So, going there is, let's say it's a 6 by 6 room. Okay, the studio type is 6 by 6. 6 times 6.
Okay. 36.
36 meters. Square, kasi it becomes a square, so it becomes 36 square
36 square
meter. Okay, again, it becomes
36.
square meter. So to get the 36 square meters, you need to multiply it, no? Okay. So again, we go to make it a square. So from this point, going there, it should be red axis. Tama? Remember the XY axis? So this one, the green, is the another axis for the horizontal. So the red is the X, Y. So the Y is going up. Tama? Okay, there you have it, another 6 para perfect 6 na 36. And then you close it to the where? Where will I go? To the origin endpoint, okay? Or the origin, there, oh. So it becomes in a one plane. We call it plane. So these are points, okay? Polygon points. So all polygon points that mix together, it becomes one plane. So if you want to see it, if it's correct in one plane, you can use orbit there para you can see it. You notice that it's like, it's not showing a very nice on the camera. You can go back to camera and then go back to perspective. So you can appreciate the 3D effects. Okay? So remember, this view will help you also in your animation. And also for determining the elevation and the floor plan. So, kasi with me, I like doing it considering everything here and also the perspective view. Para I can imagine if it's nice design, it is you can easily go inside of the room kasi if we use this one, napaka-flat niya. So, it depends on how you will be effective. Okay, we can move na si Nancy. Nancy, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next. So, we need to go to where? Here. Yeah, you need people. Pero later on muna yun. Let's go to the essentials. So, what are the essentials? We're going to make a wall. So, a wall, a hollow blocks is how many inches? It's 6 inches thick for outside. So, in millimeter, since we're using meter, that is kasi yung inches is in English, meter is in metric system. Here in the Philippines, we use metric system. But if you go to US, you will use what? English. Okay, very good. So right now, we will, okay, you get all the information that you can get from this video. I know you will discover a lot of subjects pertaining to relating to this project. Okay? So let's go to this is a math in combination with design, no? So we meet it, it's become a plane, and then we will make a hollow blocks and a wall thick as 6 inches. So 6 inches If you check it out, it's just like a 15 or 0.15 meter. So what is that? We go to make a wall, we go to letter F. What is F? Here, this one. The offset. Offset selected edge in the plane. When we say offset, it's moving inward or it's moving outward. So we go to from this point going inside, and then you see the distance here at the lower left portion of the screen. You will see it changes its value. So you need to type into the keyboard the correct value. So I told you earlier in English, 6 inches is in metric. What is it? It's point 15. Okay. Just look at the screen. Point. Okay. That's the point. You see it on the lower left. Point 15. There you go. It's point 15. That is equivalent to 6 inches of a hollow blocks. Enter. And you will see that without anything, you just hold it, the button. So again, I'm going to show it again to you. You just press there and then you hold it. I'm just dragging it inward, there. Then I'm going to type in, I have to use my fingers to type into the keyboard the point 15, which is 6 inches thick of a hollow blocks. So enter. That's our wall. Okay, so you have your wall, you have your floor, and this is our wall. So another one, we're going to push. This is your favorite, no? Push pull. But you have to determine the height of the house, the tiny house, or the studio type. Usually, from when you say beam, so remember, we have supports. What are the supports? Are the foundation and the beams. So since we have this, we can make a poste if you like. But if we're thinking that this house is in a condominium, may poste na siya inside the condominium. Sometimes it's not visible anymore if you're in your room. So let's be what do you call that? Let's be precise and let's respect the design values. So we need to make a poste. So in order not to touch our first move of this area, we want to preserve these lines. So you need to double click. Again, use your mouse, double click. Again, what's that? Your mouse, the left click. Is ito right? Ito left. So left click, double click, you selected everything in your plane, including the guide. Okay, you right click and then you make it what? No? You make it group. Yan. So when you make it group, it's untouchable na. You can also lock it if you like it. So you cannot delete it. So let's make a poste. A poste can be as thick as the size of the hollow blocks. But some of the designer, they make it so big. But for me, I don't make it so big. I just make it 20. So 0.20 is 0.2, enter. And then because this is a tiny house, you can use 0.30. So that is a correct, if this is only for, what do you call that? For one floor only, it's okay na. The point, this square portion, can easily support the whole building. Diba? You just need 4 poste or column posts, make it in a group so that what's the effect? You make it a component. Component means you're making another one. at the same time. Ang tawag doon, twin. Magkakaroon siya ng kakambal. So how can I put it all over my three corners? So first, you select it. You just press it and it becomes blue. What will happen? Diba, I remember you have the command, the M. Okay, M, yan, move, and then control. When you press control, you can release it also. Just press and then release. And then you go here. Yan. So you can select control. So you can select two one at a time. Two at the same time. So control. Yan, you press it. You see the plus. The control, you should need to hold it. Pero yung kanina, when we copy, M, yan, nasa M ka na, nakita mo yung crosshair na gano'n. Then, you press control, kahit isang beses lang. Pero, kapag you want to select, select ko, you press it, hold it mo. Yan, you can release it kapag na-select mo na. And then, anong command pagkakakopy ko? M is the move. Okay? Kailangan hindi ka dito mag-move kasi wala kang value pagka example, pakita ko sa inyo. So, ako tsaka pag ay pangit. Pangit pag tinansya, dito ko pupunta. Di ba? Maganda is that you do it correct in one move lang, di ba? Para hindi tayo lagi nagkakamali. So you select it, control. What's the command? Control. You want to select it, hold the control button, and then you release it. Kasi nakuha mo na siya. And then you press what? M. Very good. And then you go to the end point. You can zoom in. Zoom in is going in. You can zoom it so you can see the endpoint component, or kahit na malayo ka, basta sinabi niya endpoint component, it's okay. So, ano susunod natin? Kung kakapin natin, pupunta doon. Ano pipindutin mo? Nasa M na ako, di ba? So, you press control, pero pwede mo na siyang bitawan, and then you can zoom in, you get inside the endpoint of the group. Okay, ito na yung pinakamaganda dyan. So the post-it, the four posts, we call it the column post. Kasi the foundation is nasa ilalim yun, lumalaki. So column post, you double click. Okay, double click. You see, all of these components are highlighted. Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon siya ng kambal. So we push it and pull it up. Okay, what's the command? Letter P. Push, pull. Push and pull. Paste entities. To sculpt 3D model. Sculpt 3D model daw. You push, pull. Okay, push it up. And then you determine the height of the column post. The column post height is up to the top of the beam. Okay? Para malaman natin talaga itong structure na to. So, 3 meters. Standard yan. Based on building law. Okay. So, we have the 3 meters. Okay ba siya? Mataas na ba siya sa akin? Mataas na siya kay Nancy? Kasi why it becomes so high? Kasi andyan na din yung top beam. At the same time, nandyan din yung mga lahat ng electrical system, at saka kung ano-ano pa. So, marami ka dyan pwedeng ilagay under that. So, gagawa tayo ng beam. Ang beam is the connecting, okay? Connecting, structure para masuportahan yung alin? Yung wall, syempre, but the column post. Yan, that is our column post. So, gagawa tayo ng beam Ang size ng beam can be the same size of the thickness of the wall or the thickness of the column post. Usually, I do it with the thickness of the column post, that's 20. Going down, it's the same as this one. So, anong size na to? It is 30 by 20. So, 20. Okay. 30. 30. 0.30 naman. Ayan, 0.30 ay 0.20 by 0.30. Then, same process, gagawa pa rin tayo. Double click, make group, and make a component. Para dire-diretso tayo. Ito naman, paano natin ito gagawin? So, again, naka-component na siya. You copy it. Then, you paste it there. So, meron na tayo meeting these points. How about this point? So, we just copy this and then you rotate. Rotate is what? Letter Q. Ito yun. Rotate. Rotate. Stretch, copy, and array selected entities object. Okay. So, you rotate it and then you get the, okay, when you rotate, press Q, you get the blue value. Ibig sabihin, pababa. Pahiga. And then, kailangan green axis. Naka-green axis ka. And then, nasa na siya? Kailangan malapit tayo sa kanya. In short. So, paano yun? Yan, dito tayo. Para hindi siya lumalayo. And then, you go to the other side. 90 degrees. Yan. So, doon na siya naka-face dito sa ating kabilang side. So, paano to? So, i-check, ilagay mo lang sa may exterior part. At the same time, this other side sa exterior part. Okay, let's press it for the post. Mahulog yun. Okay. Okay. So, you have to knit it on the end. It's okay lang if you have a excess there kasi it's a column post. Again, this is our beam pala. So, our beam, you can use this beam for our footing beam. Footing. So, structure, footing beam is the support on the flooring. Go to the downward part and then you leave it there. So it's a perfect square na. So that is our footing beam. So ito na ang ating studio type na room. So let's make the wall na. So it's locked. So unlock it. And then you go inside the wall. And then you press it going up. Up to the bottom part of the beam. Okay. So that is our wall. Okay. So we have the post. We have the wall. So that is the box. So let's make the roof. Okay, the roof can be, you can make another plane going to the interior. So what's the command? R. That is the rectangle. Do we have it on the plane? So if you don't have it on the plane, you can R. But first, that's the end point. And you go to this part. Okay, you see the excess one here. So for us, para hindi ka mahirapan, you can apply stretch. Yan. And this one is, you can apply. Para, you can see, there's no blinking. Kasi pagka nag-meet yung dalawang material, nag-blink. Okay. So pag may excess, you can use stretch kasi we're not preserving naman the whole value of the structure. Okay. Double click, make it a component again. So making it not a component, not that, making it group muna, make group, and then make it group only. Kasi wala naman tayong dalawang group. Double click. So usually, we call this eave. What is eaves? Eaves is the ceiling outside of the house. Ceiling part outside of the house. That is where we build the roof that is overhang to our house. How do we do that? By simply making F. I'm sorry. F, F. What is F? That is here, offset. Remember, we did the offset going inside. Now we're going it outside. How do we do that? By clicking here and then, okay, look at the wrong that I did, the mistake. I click it and then I press it, but I didn't determine the dimension. So you go back to F, the offset, and then you click it. So you hold the left click of your mouse. Okay, while holding it, I will type the desired ceiling length that I wanted to have outside of my house. That is the eaves. So what is the ceiling? That is 0.60. 0.60 is just like the thickness of the length of the counter of the kitchen. So for me, kasi while you are walking on the edge of your house, you're still protected from the rain. Diba? You have the shade. So that's why I point 60. For me, it's best value because why? Matipid siya. Pag we make it 1 meter, okay lang. Kaya lang, it eats up a lot of materials. So, 0.60, okay na siya. Parang sa isang taong naglalakad on the edge of the house. Okay, at also, we need that para sa ating window. So, when we have doors and windows in our house, syempre, it's exposed to the sun and the rain. So, what do we need to do is we need to have a shade also. Para hindi agad direkto sa window natin yung ulan at saka yung sikat ng araw. But especially the ulan, the angge. Okay? What is angge in English? Okay, next. So, that we have the eaves already. So, you can delete the unnecessary lines by using by typing letter E, or in your dashboard, if you have erase here, you can use it. For me, I don't have it here. So I just type in letter E. So in the letter E, it says, select the item to erase or drag across the multiple items. So what is that? So when I have the lines before, let's go back to, yeah. So when I have the lines here, I can press this one, this one, this one. I can select it I can select it much as I wanted. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that is our roof. You can have your thickness of the roof by assigning how many? Not too thick, not too thin. But actually, the thickness should be like 4 inches, 3 inches, or 2 inches. What is 2 inches in metric? So you have to get the conversion value of it, or you can memorize it. For me, I just memorize it. The 2 meters, the 2 inches is the same as the 0.05. Yeah. 0.05 meters. So 0.05 meters is this one. Okay. Kasi if you go to 4 inches, that will be your 0.10. And the half of the 4 inches or 4 inches thickness of the hollow blocks is 2 inches, which is 0.05. Okay. So that is my thickness of my roof. So that can be the gutter. You can have another uh, going inside, just 0.05 for the design only. And then you design again 0.05 so that your gutter, you can see that there is a design of your roof. And then you get another indent 0.05 and then you get it here 0.05. So what is that? It's like a stairs no, going there. But we needed to make it like uh, a design only. So I push it going outward, and I push it going outward. So I can have a nice design of a gutter. Push it outward, okay? You push it outward, then you get a nice design of push it outward. Okay. Then, then then you have the gutter design, and then you can now start on doing your roof. You go inside. Usually it's zero point 0.1 or 4 inches. 4 inches, or you can make it uh, F. Going inside, you drag it in 0.15. That is 6 inches. So you can imagine the water go inside of the gutter. And then we will do our roof. So how do we get the middle part? To get the middle part, you just yeah, you just wait, and then when you go to the lines, you can see that the midpoint. So we're just doing two aguas or two flow of the water. So uh, we call it dos aguas. Okay. And then you go to the going up. How to make a truss? Okay. The highest point of the apex of the roof can be determined by the height of your house. It can be half of the height of the house, but if this is one is a tiny home, so we can see that you make it from the floor to the beam is 3 meters. You can get the one half or the 1/4. Okay, the 1/4 of the 3 meters is 1 meter. I want, ay, mali yata. So you get 1 meter na lang. Hirap talaga mag-math. So you get the 1 meter or 1.5. Let's check. 1.5, that's the half of this, the 3 meters. I think that is the best one. Okay. You get it from here, going to the end point, go to the, look at the end point, you go to the top apex of the roof. We call it apex, that's the highest point of the roof. You can erase this line as a guide, and then you can push. So push and pull, what is that? So it says there, push and pull, case entitles the sculpt. Okay, 3D models. Okay, you sculpt the 3D models. So you push this space, then you are doing when you connect it here, it's like you already have a design a two-dimensional, a three-dimensional image model. Okay. So our roof is as plain as like that. If you want to make a better design of this one, because when you see it like that, it's just like plain like that. So for me, for two aguas, if you want it to make it four aguas, it's okay also. You can you can stretch this point going here and the other one going here. Okay, how do we do that? Let's go to uh, the top view. Okay, this is my top view. So it's so nice. And then you double click it, you see it that you are inside uh, the room. You don't need to make it in a parallel projection. So in order that we can attach here our gutter, let's check it. So you just get the very point of this one. So you see it highlighted, it means it's free from editing. Okay, you just get it here. So let's check if we can move it going inside. Okay, let's check. There you have it. You can move it inside, and then we need to make it 45 degrees, or if you want to determine, you just need to make it uniform with the other side. Okay, so you need to check this is a green axis, so it make it so straight. Will not go on the other way around. So for me, it's 6 meters. So I need to just make it 2 meters. Yeah, that's it. 2 meters. Right. Yan. So it's 2 meters. So there you go. It's like a flag now. Okay, let's go to the other side. It should be on the very edge of this kasi we don't want to touch the gutter. So let's try if it doesn't, oh yeah, then good. So two, there you go. That is our two dos aguas roof. Ay, four aguas roof. Okay. So this one is a nice design. Kasi the rain can fall on this gutter. So we can also design it without a gutterless. This is only a design. The water can flow going down, not on our wall, but uh, far from our wall. So it's still protected, it has shades, and it's very nice to see. So that is our house right now. So we can adjust it. So you when you select control, press control in your keyboard, and then you see the plus sign, and then with the control, and then you can release the control, and then go to S, which is stretch. We have it here. It says here scale the strength, and stretch selected entities. So this is our selected entities, remember? And then you can push up to this part, so it will not overlap to the layer. So to this part, I think it's okay. And okay, so that is our home, our roof. So next is we need to what's the next? We need to cut it. So you see Like, you can check muna the the footing beam that we have put here. We need to connect perfectly. Check it if it's connected. And, footing beam. So what is footing beam? You connect the footing beam to each one. And so that is our footing beam. So next is that we need to cut this portion. Okay. In this exercise, you just need to assign uh, how far is the door. But the door height should be 2.1 meters. 2.1 meters is the next we determine the length of the next is we determine the length of the door. The length of the door for the main door is usually 1 meter. You can see it on the lower part, right and lower left side of the screen. The length is 1 meter. Going down, and you can do it on the edge and then you can type in 2.10. But na-memorize na ni Sketchup, so makikita mo na 2.10. So, remember, we offset it. Our thickness of the wall is 0.15 or 6 inches in English, and in metric scale, it's 0.15 meters. So you push it like that. You can see offset limited to 0.15. It's correct. It's okay. So, binutas na niya. So, pagka nag-meet siya kung saan yung thickness, nabubutas yung wall. Yan ang kagandahan ng push and pull. Then you can have your window. So, you can determine how far the window is. So, to determine it, it should be far like 0.5 apart or 0.6. Why? Kasi baka meron maka-break in inside the window para hindi niya maabot yung doorknob ng door. So, we go down. Usually, from the top, it can be 1.10. You can see it on dashboard on the lower part screen, 1.1 or 1.10 meters. Then, the thickness of the window is usually 0.8. Ayan, kasi yan yata yung, or 0.7, yung size ng bacalar, para pwedeng dalawa. Okay? So, isa. There. You erase the line, the guide, then you push and pull it again to 0.15. 0.15. So, nabutas na niya. So, that's end our lesson for today. The next lesson is how do we make a component? The doors, the windows, and everything that we needed inside the house. Okay, so that's the end part. See you on the next session.